Okay, thank you very much for joining me. Now we'll discuss the animator component. So this here, the animator component lets you create animations and manage those animations using an animator controller. To create an animator controller, you just go to the project files, right click here, create animator controller, give it a name, and then you can add it to the animator component. And this is how an animator, if you go to the animator panel here, this is how it looks. The squares, the rectangles represent animations. Right now we have just one in this case. We'll see later that you can have multiple and have transitions. Now in 2D, animations can be done in two ways. One is we have the individual frames of an animation, and the other one is you change some properties over time. So let's play the scene here. We have three different types of animations. The first guy here um, as an animation that is made with individual frames, and the others are made by changing properties over time. Okay, so you see the first one has the running animation, the second one just rotates, and the third one changes its size. Okay, so let's select the first one and see how to select. So once you have an animator component with an animator controller, you can create animations. So you first have to select your object uh, and then go to Window, Animation. In this case, this is the one with the running animation. I don't know why I called it idle. So this is very simple. The way I achieved this is I went to the file with the sprites, and then I select everything here. I just select everything and drag and drop them here, and then you have an animation. This here, the samples, means that's the speed of the animation. So let me show you. Now this is the speed. If I increase it, it will be faster. So if I make it 3 times faster, this is what it looks like. So yeah, here we change the animation. Okay. Um, the second one, the second one changes the rotation over time. So you see we have 3 frames here. And to do this, to change a property over time, you first have to add it here in the animation panel. So you click add property. In this case, I selected the rotation of the transform component. And then to record the change of at a specific frame, you go to that frame, click this red button here, and you'll see now, because I clicked that in the inspector, the rotation is now colored red, and then we can change the rotation here, and you'll have that rotation at that specific frame. Same for the other one, which is the one that changes size. It's the same thing. I just selected the transform and then the scale property, and I can record changes at different frames here. Um, so that's how you create animations. In 2D and 3D, you don't have the option to use sprites. You can just change properties in time. Let's see what this is. I forgot what this is. Oh, I think this is a scene where we throw fireballs. Yes. Wait first. Um, so this is a scene about the event. You can place events on at a specific frame of an animation. Event basically is some code you execute. So in this case, I want to spawn that projectile at the end of the animation of this guy. So let's see how that is done. Uh, First of all, we have the wizard here with 2 animations, idle and attack. Um, And if you go to the attack animation, you notice this here, that's the event here. So if you go to a specific frame and click this here, which is add event, you add an event to that frame. And then you select the function here in the inspector for that event. In this case is the spawn projectile function. Let's look at the code for this. Um, we have the transform of we have the spawn point of the projectile and the projectile itself, the prefab of the projectile. We have the animator of this guy. We get the animator in the start function, place it in the variable, and in update when we press spacebar, we play the attack animation of the wizard, and the fireball will be spawned automatically at the last frame. Uh, and this is the function we just spawned that projectile here. What is necessary is to, if you use a function as an event on at a specific frame of an animation, you want to make that function public, otherwise you cannot see it. You cannot access that function. And that's well, the projectile itself has a script, and there's a explosion that is found on collision. We won't look at that. Also, the wizard here, after it finishes the attack animation, it goes back to idle automatically. Let's see. Yes, let's look a bit at the animator um, here. Also, let me check the other scene. Oh, we have a 3D example here as well. Yes, we do have a 3D example. But let's start with the 2D one. So this is the animator controller on the wizard. We have two animations, the idle and the attack animation. And this line here is transition. So to make a transition, you just right click on an animation, click make transition, and then you drag and click on uh, another animation. The orange one here, the orange rectangle, is the default animation that is played when you start the scene. Uh, you can also have parameters, we'll look at that later, to make these transitions happen on certain conditions. To create parameters, you go here, click plus, and you only have four options: float, integer, bool. I don't know what trigger is. And then you can create a condition here on the transition, so that the transition happens when those parameters are a certain value. In this case, you notice this exit time property here is checked. So that means we wait some part of the animation before transitioning. And how long we wait is determined by this float here, which is 1, which means in this case we wait the whole attack animation and then transition to idle. If you put 0.5 here, for example, that means wait half of the animation and then transition. In this case, we want to wait the whole attack animation and then transition. If you uncheck this, then there's no exit time. It happens. The transition happens instantly. Um, let's go to the 3D example. I forgot what this is again. Sorry, I, I have so many examples. I don't remember which one is which. Let's see if I remember what this is. Press space here. If I'm not mistaken, um, this is just a scene where we equip and decrypt. I don't know how it's called. Uh, let's play the scene actually and see. We have the idle. Oh, this I'll also make a tutorial about how to import animations from Mixamo. This guy here is imported from mixamo.com. So we have here um, idle, greatsword idle, and unarmed. I don't know. Let's see. Yes, the texture on that hammer is not loading. I don't know why. I'll give it a second. But basically, we equip this hammer when we press spacebar and then go back to idle here. Okay, let me explain this example. It's not very simple. Let's look at the transitions first. So by default, we're in the idle. And when we press space, we go to unarm. Pardon, excuse me. This is to equip the hammer, and then we go to the idle while we have the hammer. I forgot how this works actually. But the idea is we have an event here on the animation, on a certain animation. I forgot which is. Okay, let's see what that is. So when we keep, we have an animation. Activate hammer. Oh yes, okay, I understand now. So when we keep the hammer here, by default, it is not enabled. It is in the scene. So if you go here to the character, let's see which arm it is. I forgot. Yeah, the other one. So we put the hammer as a child here. You see, it's a child of the hand of that right hand of that guy, and by default it is disabled. And in code, uh, at this part of the animation, we enable it, so we can see it visually. So that's another example of an event here. I won't go through everything, but it applies to, as you can see, to 3D as well. Um, there's also another settings. There are some other settings which I forgot, which are relevant, especially for 3D. Um, we have the transition duration here. So in 3D, when you make a transition from one animation to another, it actually combines the two animations into one, and this represents um, how long that blend lasts here. Um, let's see what else. We also have uh, you also have layers here in the animator. I don't know much about that, but um, those are used when you want to separate the movement of some parts of the body from other parts of the body. So for example, in a first person shooter, you want to separate the leg movement from the torso and the hand movement. That in that case, use a layer for the legs and the layer for the upper body. um, okay, let's see, there's another scene here. Yes, this is an example of how we can change the parameters in code to enable certain animations. In this case, we have this guy that can move around and jump, and then we have also have a full animation. By default, as you can see, it is in the idle animation. And then let's look at the parameters here. We have just two parameters. We have a bool is running, so we know if you're running, and we have the velocity of the rigid body, but only the y of that. So we know if you're falling. If this is negative, then it means we move the. Then it means we're falling, and we go from jump to fall here. If we go to this transition here from jump to fall, um, you notice that we don't have an exit time here because we want this to happen instantly. And here the condition for this transition to happen is when that is less than 0. So that means from idle to run, we do it when is running is true, and from running to idle when is running is false. the code. Let's look at the code for this. So we have two ways to enable animations. One is we change the parameters, the value of the parameters, and that enables the animations. So in this case, for the running, we say animator. We have the animator in this variable that we call animator. And then we say data set bool. We specify which bool and the value, in this case true. So that's one way to change parameters. I will comment here. You also have animator dot set int for integers, and you have animator dot um, set float for floats. So with this, you can change parameters. And if you want to go to an animation without any transitions, you can just say animator dot play and then specify the name of the animation, and this will enable that animation instantly. So those are the ways you enable animations in code. Let's go to another scene. I forgot what this is again. Let's look at the code. We have this guy. Oh, okay, I see. This is an example of how to change the speed of the animation in code. It's very simple. You have the animator in a variable, and then you can say animator dot speed. If you say 1, that's the default speed, so 100% speed. If you say 3, that's 3 times the default speed, 300%. And if you say 0, you stop the animation at a specific frame. It stops running the animation. Um, so let's see it in action here. When we press 1, 2, and 3, we change the speed of this guy. So it has, I believe, a running animation. It just runs in place. We press 1 is that's 100. We press 2, that's 300% speed. And when we press 3, it freezes, actually. It freezes in place, as you can see. I press 2 again and 3 very fast, and it stops at the frame, the current frame. Okay, I guess that's everything about the animator. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. We'll discuss colliders.